Hello, my name is Andrew, and today we're doing a first impression review of a Jack Stillman wax canvas poncho. Let's check it out. Just for reference, I'm 5'11", so here's how it fits on me. It comes down to around my calves, and it's highly water resistant for hiking or just casual use. But just for some context before we dig into the features, I live in Rochester, New York, where it's kind of like rainy and cold a lot of the time, especially now that we're getting into winter. And over the years, I've tried various things to keep myself dry. I've done raincoats, synthetic raincoats, and umbrellas, and ponchos and things like that for backpacking, but the problem with synthetic materials is that they're not very breathable. So I sort of got interested in this idea of finding a wax canvas poncho because I have a wax canvas notebook protector from Lockbee, and it works really well. It's interesting. The water just beads off the top, which is really cool, and then you can keep treating it long term to keep it waterproof. So I was looking around trying to find a wax canvas poncho, and it's pretty difficult, but I found this one from Australia. And I asked Jack Stillman if they would send me one to test, and I got to use it this morning. I actually went out at like 3 a.m. because I woke up and I couldn't go to sleep, and it was actually starting to drizzle, so I thought this would be a great time to test it out and see how it worked. And it was really nice for cold weather. I think it was about 40 degrees when I started out, and it was drizzling, and you could put the hood up, which was great. Because it's kind of like walking around with a tent is how I describe it. And because it goes down to your calves, it provides coverage for pretty much everything except your boots. And I was wearing some leather boots from Vivo Barefoot, the Tracker FG, which actually are also protected by wax, so they're waterproof. And yeah, I stayed dry the whole time. And the other thing that I really liked compared to the synthetic raincoats that I've had is that there's a lot of air inside a poncho, so it keeps moisture moving away from your body. But with the Jack Stillman poncho, you can also button up the arms so that you get sort of like a sleeve, and it makes it a little more versatile because some ponchos, they just kind of hang on you, and when you try to like lift your arms out of it, it's kind of like the whole thing comes with you. Plus it's also got a waterproof zipper protector, so this just keeps the water beating straight off of you. And then they also have brass buttons, which are really good for long-term durability, and so you can just use that as like a secondary layer over top of the zipper if you need to, if it's like colder or if it's really pouring. But coming back, it was starting to get up towards like 60 degrees, so I just zipped the front down, and that gave me even more airflow. But I found that with the hood up, it kind of like gave me enough of a shroud that I wasn't getting wet in my front, which was great. It's also got a flannel pocket here, which is really nice. It's very smooth and soft feeling, so it gives you a little bit of softness around your shoulders, like if you were backpacking or something. But then also just a little bit of warmth. But I like that they didn't put it everywhere. The rest of the poncho is just sort of a mid-weight canvas. And I think if they had put it everywhere, it might have gotten hot, but this gives you a little bit higher temperature range where you can get it up into maybe like 65. And then I'm not sure what the lower range is because it hasn't gotten too cold here yet, so I'll talk about that in the full review. But I'm also really interested to see how it works in a complete downpour because it was drizzling a little bit, but it'd be great if I could just go out without an umbrella, In terms of weight, it's around 2.8 pounds. So just for reference, the synthetic puffer jacket that I have from Howler Brothers is around 1.5 pounds. So it's a little bit heavier, but it's actually lighter than I expected it to be. And I think part of that is just because the fabric is quite thin. It's mid-weight, like I said, but you can see that they've made it as thin as possible while still being water resistant. In terms of how it feels to wear, like every time I put this thing on, I just kind of feel like Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, like I've just come back from ranging out in the wilderness somewhere.
That man in the corner, who is he?
He's one of them rangers.
But the Ranger also has kind of a front fishtail design, so as you're walking, there's some separation there at the bottom where, like, if you're doing some faster hiking or going up and down terrain that your legs are really moving forward and backwards, it doesn't limit you at all, which is great. Although I do think it would be cool if Jack Stillman had one extra button here at the bottom, because if you're not hiking super fast or going up really steep hills, it's not a problem to have the bottoms connected, and I think it might keep your legs a little bit drier because that's the only place that really gets wet with this poncho. Is sort of like if you've got some waterproof boots, you're fine there, but then there's maybe about, I don't know, 3/4 of a foot or something where your legs are exposed a bit, so that would definitely help. And maybe I'll take it to the tailor to add a button. That would be really cool. Another thing to mention is that the Ranger comes with this really nice canvas bag, which is also treated to be highly water resistant, and it's the same material, super durable canvas. It's really useful. I mean, you can store this in it, or you could put like a tripod in here. I think my tripod, which is actually right over here, I think if I collapsed it, it would go in there really well. And I found the same thing with my Lockbee case. Like, it started out as a little pocket notebook. Like, I've got some notes for the video here, but then I ended up putting my microphone, which is down here. You can't really see it on the video, but it's about, you know, this big. So wax canvas bags are great for storing stuff because they're super durable, they're water resistant, and they're natural. So they smell really nice and they're nice in the environment too. In terms of how you can wear the Ranger poncho, you can wear it with your backpack over top of it, and then it becomes this kind of like rugged kimono, which is cool. Or you can put your backpack underneath, which keeps everything dry, like if you're backpacking. But also right now I'm trying to get my van ready to move in for winter, and I think the Ranger poncho might actually be really nice for wearing indoors. Like when I get out of bed in the morning, it's cold, I could just kind of like throw this on, get some extra warmth. And it's nice because it's minimalist. Now you can use it for multiple things. I can use it indoors, I can use it as a raincoat, I can use it to protect my backpack. And I think probably my favorite feature is that because it's oversized, you can kind of just like pull your arms into it when you're walking for some extra warmth. And then you can even like sit down on the floor and pull the whole thing over top of you like a little shelter. In terms of keeping it waterproof, Jack Stillman recommends using a wax product about 2 times a year or whenever you feel like it needs it. They do have some wax on their website that you can buy. One last thing to note is that the zipper pull tag and then the brand tag on the bottom are both vegetable tan leather. And I was kind of reading up on the Ranger to find out more about Jack Stillman and their process and whatnot in terms of sustainability. And it turns out that only about 10% of leather products are vegetable tan, and the other 90% use really toxic processes like chrome. And it's really bad for the environment, and it's not good for you putting that on your skin. And the older I get, it's like the less I like synthetic materials and the more I'm just sort of gravitating towards really natural, traditional ways of making clothes. So yeah, that's my first impression review of the Jack Stillman Ranger poncho, but I'll let you guys know how it goes long term, and I definitely want to make a second follow-up video to see how it works in just like a total downpour. But yeah, if you'd like to learn more about Jack Stillman, I put links down below to the poncho and their wax canvas carry bags and backpacks, which also look really cool. Finally, if you have a question about the Jack Stillman Ranger or about sustainable apparel in general, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.